well, hopefully first, July episode of the Wise Guys Sports Show here on the Big Weekend on Sports YouTube channel. Going to get it onto our audio platforms as of tomorrow because, quite honestly, it's 9 Eastern and I'm old and tired. I am your host, one of your hosts, the Big Weekend on Sports, Mike Martinez, and as always, my co-host of the Wise Guys Show, the one, the only, the I need the NHL back so damn bad it's not even funny, JC Blue Note, Jim Cornetti. James, and how are we this July the 15th, sir?
Last official day of the first actual bit of vacation I've had in 3 years, so it's a little bittersweet. Got a cookout tomorrow. I showed you guys what's going on in my place right before we went live, but it's I take it you saw part of the video, or at least how long it was when I went live yesterday.
I saw how long it was. I have not had a chance to watch it as of yet. Been a little busy as one of the cats destroys a box down there. And our special guest this evening, he is what I would call an honorary wise guy. He is from the Row 7 podcast from the wonderful windy city of Chicago, Mr. Alex. Alex, how are you, sir? Are you feeling better?
I'm 100% now, man. I'm feeling good. All gas, no brakes. Looking to jump in and talk some sports and some shenanigans, maybe if they happen to come up.
Dude, you're with us. It's guaranteed.
Well,
3,
just
2,
added flavor.
We actually are going to see if we can put on FanDuel and over under and how quickly we go off the rails.
Can we do that? Because I'll put money on it. I'll bet it.
Yeah, well, most people would, and they'd all pick the under.
Under 1,000%.
And it's under 30 seconds.
Correct.
So we got a lot to go over tonight, gentlemen. It is All-Star Weekend. We are past the statistical halfway point of the Major League Baseball season, and at least two of us are happy. If anyone follows Alex on Twitter,
don't follow me on Twitter.
What do you call it when you want to murder a senior citizen?
The right thing to do. How about that?
Thinning out the herd.
Oh my God! Yeah, I hear that. I hear that, and I think of the Hurling Day episode of Dinosaurs from the '90s when they threw the mother-in-law off the mountain.
Yes.
That show annoyed the hell out of me.
Dude, stop!
I watched
I
3.
love that show.
Interest.
Dude, I love that show.
I appreciate this. After the British Open coverage ended on Peacock, guess what I was watching all day? Married with Children. They have the entire series up if you're a Peacock paid subscriber.
Oh, that's where you can stream it?
All 11 seasons.
Okay, good to know.
He played for the Steelers. Ed O'Neill was in training camp for the Steelers.
Oh. That's right. Yep. I thought you were talking about what you sent me earlier this week. And it's like, no, that was the Colts, but we'll cover that later, maybe.
Yeah, we do, because I want to get to that, because that was awesome. So let's start with a question that I have for James. But Alex, I'd like you to weigh in on this. And it's a very simple question. Jim, have we finally found a Cavs front office that has a half a damn brain?
Time will tell, because it's very interesting to think that anyone's going to be able to top Wayne Embry from our heyday growing up with them. But all signs are pointing towards abso-freaking-lutely.
The draft itself was a steal.
Yeah.
I love the fact they brought in Mobley's brother. I think that's going to be humongous. Was it Okaji the one you wanted in the draft?
Yeah.
Okaji?
Kid from, think about it. They got the best player on the best team who won the national championship. That kid should have been a top 3 or top 4 pick, and you got him at 13.
Yeah, no, that's phenomenal. I was very impressed. I like Mobley's brother because I think he's a more polished shooter. than Evan was coming into the league last year. But I want to ask Alex this one. Do you love the Darius Garland deal?
Absolutely. And I'm not a Cleveland fan, but I respect what they're doing, and I respect that they're going young rather than bringing in dinosaurs like another organization does, and try to piecemeal it together. I like that you go young, you build from within, and you had a fantastic year last year. If it wasn't for injuries, who knows what could have happened? Not to mention what's going into this season and how the East, besides the Bucks, are kind of unraveling. There's a chance for everybody else to get some meat on the bone.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think that's phenomenal. And that, Jim, that's really why I asked you that question, because we're watching the East unfurl. Outside of maybe Donovan Mitchell comes to his second home, because what a lot of people don't know is Spider's dad works in the Mets front office and has for like 25 years. I mean, you can't really complain if you're a Knick fan of making that deal. I don't want to get into what's going on in the other borough. I'm putting that borough up with the one I can't stand with baseball.
We can talk about that on my show where we can go off. That'll
work.
What's actually more surprising for you with the Donovan Mitchell rumor, the fact that he's going to the Knicks or the Jazz are being torn down before our eyes in a moment's notice?
The Jazz being torn down, because the dude spends his summers in New York. He's taking BP at Citi Field every like fourth or fifth day.
Right.
So that there didn't really shock me.
Rudy Gobert in Minnesota did.
Yeah.
Him and Karl Anthony Towns are going to be fun.
Well, I mean, I think Cat's going to have to play some guard at this point in time with as big as they are.
Yeah, but it's when I was at Romo Fijo for a Cavs Wolves game last year, and it's now I think I told you about that game. Minnesota was up like 25, I
watched that game,
and then the Cavs came all the way back, tied it, and then got basically robbed of it at the end. But it's up. But man, can Minnesota shoot?
Yeah, they can shoot, and Cat can he can handle the rock, so that'll be interesting to see.
Mm-hmm.
Last bit of NBA before we go. Alex, I was thinking about you the other day. I was flipping through TikTok, and a guy did a Chicago Bulls entrance to his wedding.
That's phenomenal.
Ray Clay?
No, like he had the warm-up jacket on. He had the tearaway pants with the tux underneath it.
I need to redo my wedding.
Listen, dude. I got married the year before the guy who runs the 7 Line, Darren Meenan. He got married at Citi Field. Don't tell me about needing to redo the wedding.
Oh.
So speaking of Citi Field, I want to get into this weekend. Of course, my Mets are out in Chicago getting rained out today. Got a doubleheader tomorrow. Did you see who's pitching one of the games against the Mets tomorrow, Alex?
I did not. Who's pitching?
Marcus Stroman.
Light him up.
They're going to light him up.
Light him up. He's been very much. I mean, he's been on the shelf for the past month and a half or so. But he's very braggadocious and stuff like that. And has that little swagger. And I want him to knock him around a little bit. Put that ERA up a little bit higher.
Yeah, and speaking of the Mets in Chicago, Jim, did you see Cookie go number 10 last night?
I did. As a matter of fact, I actually got the standings page on ESPN with the scores right in the background right now. So if you see my eyes glancing, that's what I'm looking at.
I got cats trying to tear stuff up. So if you see my eyes glancing, that's what I'm looking at. I do want to do a little All-Star Game history, as it was 3 years ago last week that it was in Cleveland for 2019, where the gentleman on the shirt that I'm wearing today, who set the all-time record for most home runs by a rookie, won his first home run derby. But I want to talk about a moment that really got to me, and that was the stand-up to cancer moment. And as a son of a dad who is a survivor, that always gets to me. Years ago, Ron Darling actually was doing either the All-Star Game or the playoffs for TNT.
Playoffs.
And was it playoffs? And it said, "I stand for my catcher." Of course, he was referencing Gary Carter when Kid was still with us. But that was the night that all at the time Indians players stood up in front of the dugout and it said, "I stand with Cookie," and Cookie was there. I still get choked up seeing it now. But it was all over. I think I retweeted it. Maybe I hit you with that too, Jim.
Yep.
But Alex, I want to go to you and I want to talk to you about some All-Star Game memories you have, because Jim and I are going to go in the Wayback Machine in a minute, because we've got one from 25 years ago that we're going to want to get into for a couple of minutes. So what was you guys had the first All-Star Game that actually, quote unquote, meant something in Chicago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it should determine home field advantage, or are you one of the ones who didn't like that?
I didn't mind it. I mean, as a baseball fanatic, I know a lot of people kind of crap on the All-Star Game. I watch it because I enjoy seeing all these studs out there, either throw 100 or hit a ball 550 feet or whatever it may be. So I thoroughly enjoy it. I do kind of like the little bit of stakes that go along with it. So if they were to bring that back, I think they would mean something a little bit more. But me being who I am, I'm going to watch all 9 innings of the game regardless. If it's 11-9 or 1-0 into the ninth, I'll still be there. So they have a persistent viewer in myself.
Yeah, me too. And I think it's because it's the only one that's an actual game.
Right.
I was just literally going to say that. It's the only one that, unless they actually start soft tossing balls, the NHL has the tournament format. It's 3-on-3. It's top shelf derby. The NBA doesn't play defense. The NFL, it's two-hand touch essentially. But yeah, baseball is it's the only one that you can't really half-ass it on.
You can't phone it in.
Right.
So, Jim, I want to get into 25 years ago, 1997, the year of my graduation. God, I'm old.
I was already out.
Shut up.
You had 1 year in that prison.
I actually enjoyed my time at Brush. So, what? I think it's
principal for my 4 years.
It was my class that got rid of him. Okay, so we got to tell Alex this one because he's looking at us funny. Our principal was the one in the late 90s that had the cheerleading squad up to his house at the lake and carved away part of the mirror and videoed the girls in the bathroom. I want to hear the kicker. Wait, I got one better than that. 2 weeks before that, the show choir was up there and I was there.
What did you see? Some things you can't unsee?
Well, no, but I remember the bathroom they were talking about, and nothing looked fishy. But then there were dudes up there too, so
Because some of the football team would go up there as well.
It was right on the lake. It was a nice property.
I'll do you one better. 3 days. 3 days. 3 days before my 10-year anniversary, I saw him while I was out with the family at a seafood place out in Painesville, which is about 25 miles east of Cleveland.
You saw Walt?
I was in the restroom. I'm on the phone with my brother. No, that's not where I saw him. I couldn't think. No, I saw him. He was about 3 tables over from where we were. I go into the restroom. I'm on the phone with my brother.
Oh, boy.
I tell him that. Frankie starts laughing so loud, I drop my phone in the toilet. Thankfully, it was clean. As we're walking out, I introduced myself. I said I'm one of your former students. He says, where did he go after that? Menor?
I don't know.
He said that school. I said no, Brush. He says, have a nice day. He basically blew me out. At the reunion, my class was like one of the smallest you can think of. We only graduated 318, and I think about 100.
Was it much bigger?
I thought you guys were like 600-700 or something.
No, we were 368.
Okay, so about 180 of us showed up for the reunion. We're taking the class picture. It was at the old Boneyard, and
Yep.
Remember on the second floor they actually had the VIP room and they had like the risers going on.
My cousin Katie was the hostess for that party.
Yeah, so so we're all up on there, and everyone says, "Say cheese," and I don't know if you remember him, Joe Ciani.
Yeah.
says, no, say Walt Conti. And everyone starts to, and I said, I saw him 3 days ago. And part of the class picture, I don't know if the shutter was that, was about 4 people trying to pour their drinks on me in the middle of the class picture.
Oh, Alex, we had some fun. And then the guy who took over was on that Rescue 911 show and then got in trouble himself. So our school was kind of funny.
You guys got some stories in.
Almost as good. I mean, honestly, that was bad, but what about Trevisano's kid driving his car through the chemistry lab and shutting that entire wing down for a year?
Let's not go there. We got something. So 25 years ago this month, the All-Star game was in Cleveland. Now, something happened that night that has only happened one other time, and that is a player from the home team won the MVP. And it's only happened one other time. I asked Jim this question on our last show. Alex, I'm going to ask you. When was the second time that happened?
I have no idea.
2019 with Shane Bieber.
Oh.
And, of course, in 1997, it was Sandy Alomar Jr. hitting the big home run. Here's a question, James. Who'd he hit it off?
You're making me do math.
No, I'm making you do trivia. There's a difference.
Randy Johnson.
But you're making me count back. I'm trying to remember who was on his team.
Randy Johnson, that was the night he threw the ball over Larry Walker's head, and Walker turned around and turned the helmet around.
I was going to say Johnson, but I couldn't remember, if he was oh yeah, that's right. He went to Arizona in 98.
Yep, he was still in Seattle. None other than former San Francisco Giant and New York Met Sean Estes, whose other claim to fame is he threw at Roger Clemens and missed.
Wow.
He missed.
So it was Estes?
Sean Estes. It was a blown-away changeup, and Sandy yanked it over the left field fence.
There was a big part of me that was, for whatever reason, thinking Darryl Kyle.
I don't know if he was still alive.
He was. He passed away like in 98 or 99.
Yeah, it was close. It was close in there, but for whatever reason, I was thinking Darryl Kyle.
So the thing I remember most about that year was two things. One, of course, Sandy hitting the home run, and it being a precursor to an October that I don't think anybody in Cleveland will ever forget out of Sandy Alomar. But also the home run derby. Mark McGuire was taking shots at the Budweiser sign up in left field. Jim Thome was hitting baseballs over the 2 rows of trees like Alonso did a couple years ago in center. But, of course, who won that one?
1997 home run derby.
It was a Junior, was it? No, Junior won it in 98 in Colorado. He beat Thome in 98.
That's not right. Griffey.
He did. That's right. He won back-to-back.
Yeah. No, wait. Never mind. They sorted this wrong. I asked for
Martinez.
They're giving me the. They're giving. It was. No, it was Tino Martinez.
Okay, that's when he was with the. Was he? Yeah, he was with the Yankees.
Yep.
So that's what I remember. I remember the derby. I remember the ball. Just McGuire hitting baseballs that I don't think ever landed.
A quick trivia question about that. Tino Martinez won that competition, but he didn't hit the most home runs. Who did?
Thome hit the most home runs, didn't he?
Thome didn't hit any. Thome got shut out.
Really? Don't tell me it was Joey Bell.
Nope.
You looking it up, Alex?
Yeah.
Larry Walker.
Really?
Walker hit 9 in the first round, 9 in the second round. only hit 1 in the finals. So Martinez won 3-1 in the finals, but technically in the overall, Walker had 19, Martinez only had 16.
Well, that's like in 19, Vladdy hit 90 something because he had to do the swing offs with Jock Peterson. Pete didn't have to hit that many because he was the number 1 seed going in. And he's the number 2 seed on Monday night. So, James, you want to ask your question now?
Yeah, I'm going to pose this out to Alex and Michael. I'm hoping that you also had a little bit of time to prepare. With all the All-Star weekends that are out there, with the NFL kind of doing their thing with like the dodgeball or whatever, we know about the NHL skills competition is extremely entertaining. We know about the NBA now. We've got the super skills, we got the 3-point, we got the slam dunk, but really the only thing we really have is the celebrity game and the home run derby in baseball. What's a better overall event? Not for what you prefer, but what's better for the weekend? Home run derby or the slam dunk competition?
Well, as of late, the slam dunk contest has been nothing but a bust, so I probably got to go home run derby.
Yeah, but let's actually go back to, even if we had the Zach LaVine, Aaron Gordon thing from a few years ago. Let's actually say the slam dunk is like on its point.
Oh.
Would we still say it's better than home run derby, or we say home run derby is better than slam dunk?
No, if that's the case, then I'm going slam dunk contest, because I'm just thinking of memories of Vince Carter just with his arm in the rim. That was just ridiculous. So, slam dunk contest.
I'm playing Homer. It's the Derby. And it's the Derby because and listen, I remember watching Dominique dunk. I remember watching Michael jump from the foul line. I remember Kobe Bryant doing the blind man dunk in Cleveland in 1997.
Yep.
And Vince, and my favorite dunk of all time, which was when Nate Robinson jumped over Dwight Howard in the Crypto Nate green Knicks uniform. It's the Derby. You have dudes up there, and baseball is a game that when you take your at-bats, you're not doing anything but trying to get on base now. These dudes are swinging from their heels, and they're hitting monster shots. Dude, Alonso almost killed a dude in a line for a concession last year, 500 and some feet away. I was watching because I have the 19-1 and the 21-1 on my YouTube playlist because he won them both. I actually have pictures from the Derby in 19. A couple people I knew from high school went to the Derby. And, of course, were texting me after 5 swings going, oh, Carlos is going to beat Alonso. I was like, just wait. No, he's not. Just wait. Bregman was there during Alonso's first round against Carlos Santana. And Bregman all of a sudden goes, that went over the second row at Treason Center. You get actual players right then commentating and in awe of what these dudes are doing. The most awe-inspiring dunk I've seen in the last 5-6 years was that dude that's the bounce kid from Canada when he did that no-look dunk in Toronto. And everybody on the Eastern All-Star bench just went crazy.
Jordan Kilgannon?
Yes.
Yes.
He did the no-look dunk behind his head.
The scorpion dunk, yep.
He did the scorpion dunk at the All-Star game in Toronto. That was the
personal favorite he does is the one where he throws it from behind his back and dunks it with just one hand.
He did one on that dunk competition show. He jumped over a car, and he didn't
a hard top.
A hard top, and he jumped over the middle.
Yep.
Oh.
With his mom in attendance. Yep.
Yeah, his mother was there.
Yeah.
Alex, I will send you that video.
On the floor and.
Wow, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. And he's 6'1".
He's 6'1".
And white.
Even better. I love that.
better clip of Kilgannon when he I don't want to say photobomb, but when he surprised Glenn Rice and Gary
Gary Payton.
Yeah. He jumped over Glenn Rice. He asked Glenn Rice if he could jump over him. And then he does.
Remember Gary Payton.
Yeah, and then he does this other dunk where Glenn Rice, I think he actually like went to jump over Gary Payton. And he says if he hits this, I'm running home. So he doesn't. Glenn Rice actually just starts jogging.
Payton threw him a pass, and he caught it going back with one arm and was behind his head.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I think he threw it off the side of the backboard or something.
Yep, he did that too. This dude could win the dunk contest now.
And he didn't even win. He didn't even win the grand prize on that show that year.
That's because he tried that one where he was actually dunking with his hands almost looked like they were tied behind his back.
Yes. Yeah.
And he missed the dunk. So, okay, that's 1 for, 1 against with the home run derby, but I want to talk about this year's derby, and I want to talk about the 8-man bracket we've got for this year's derby. Have you seen it, Jim?
Real quick, I haven't seen the bracket, but I'm going to give my opinion on that. I got to agree with Mike. I think it's the home run derby, just because usually when they invite guys who actually deserve to be there as all-stars, whereas with the slam dunk competition, a lot of the times it's guys from maybe the middle of the rotation or the back end of the bench. Who's the last major player we've actually had? Zach LaVine.
Yeah.
We don't get a whole lot of those. I mean, Dwight Howard, Nate Robinson, sure, those guys were all-stars, but until we actually see massive dunkers out there, like maybe like an Evan Mobley or like a Cade Cunningham. It's it's going to be a novelty thing. It's going to be cool to watch, but it's not going to mean anything.
Yeah, and you hear people going after LeBron for never doing it. You hear people going after other players like that for never doing it, but it's all about preference. So I want to do a little prediction here. I'm going to give you the matchups in the first round. Now we're going to be as unbiased as possible, but I think we all know who I think is going to win.
Yeah, I just pulled up the bracket.
So the 1-8, Alex, is Kyle Schwarber of the Phillies with 28 dingers against the basically he's there on a commissioner's exemption. Albert Pujols will compete in his final home run derby, and as the 8 of the 1-8 matchup. We've got Schwarber moving on here, right, guys? I don't think
easy.
As much as I love Albert, this isn't 20 years ago.
You're going to make me pick against my Cardinals, aren't you?
His dad's a Cardinal fan too. I'm making him pick against him. Listen, I agree with him getting a commissioner's exemption to be in the All-Star game, and I hope that that Brian Snitker puts him in because he does deserve it. This is maybe the greatest right-handed hitter we've ever seen. He deserves to play. Derby, I don't think so. Just me personally. We're going to go to
break. If they're throwing batting practice, don't count them out. Dude, I don't know if you saw the monster bomb he hit the other night. He could still rake it.
I don't think he's beating Schwarber.
I don't think he's beating. I don't think he's beating Schwarber either. But I don't think he's going out there and embarrassing himself at 41 years old.
No, and especially Dodger Stadium. You hit a couple of line drives over that short porch and left, you can be in it. So let's go to the 3-6. We're going to save the 2-7 for last. The 3-6, Corey Seager coming fresh off his ungodly contract with the Texas Rangers against Julio Rodriguez, the rookie sensation from the Seattle Mariners. Now, have you guys seen Seattle yet, Guardians and or White Sox? How good is this kid?
He's good.
Okay.
He's I think he's nearing Wander Franco territory in terms of being good. I mean,
really?
They've won 11 in a row, and he's got a pretty good part in that.
I saw this morning. I got up. My mental alarm clock's going off like an hour and a half to 2 hours for my regular one. So I saw that he has had a big part in that 11 in a row. Listen, the Mariners are for real, guys. Mitch Haniger may be the quietest superstar you've never heard of, and they made some pretty big additions in Robbie Ray. Coming into the offseason. So listen, I actually, before I realized how good the Guardians were, had Seattle in that last wild card spot. So does Seager make his money, or does the rookie move on here?
Rodriguez beats him.
Nice.
I got Seager.
Okay. The 4-5. This is the one that Mr. James has a little skin in the game on. Juan Soto against Jose Ramirez. Is J-Ram going to hit right-handed or left-handed?
Both.
What's he doing, a minute and a half right-handed and a minute and a half left-handed?
That's what the timeouts are for.
That's true.
Wait,
What do you think?
Plus, also, if they lost, who's to say that he doesn't actually just flip around in the middle, in between pitches? He hits maybe a dinger. He goes cold for 2 or 3, and he flips around.
That's true.
In terms of his numbers, I don't know if either of you guys know, or maybe you do. Is he better? I mean, he's a ridiculous hitter, both sides of the plate. But is he a better lefty or better righty?
I think the scary part about him is he's about equal on both sides of the plate.
Jesus, that's ridiculous.
I mean, he's only got 17 dingers, but he's hitting like 900. I mean, he's ridiculous.
I mean, his splits are just ridiculous. So,
against Juan Soto, who last year he put on a show against Shohei Ohtani and eliminated the unanimous MVP. I'm picking Jose.
I got to go Jose. It's nothing against Soto. I think Soto's a great ball player, but I'm going to pick this one surely out of bias because the 4-5 matchup is always as close as you can get. Naturally, I'm a Jose guy, and that rumored Soto contract was the reason why we almost had a strike to begin with.
Yeah. So let's go to the 2-7. It is a rematch of round 2 from 2019. It is the beasts of the NL East. Ronald Acuna Jr., fresh off his ACL, who, by the way, is playing out of his mind. Against I'm going to go a little Ric Flair here, the two-time defending
that's Booker T.
Derby champion, whatever. First. Pete's going for this.
A treat.
Well done. Well done. You fit right in with us. It's scary. But it's Ronald Acuna Jr. against Pete Alonso.
That is a good matchup, man.
And by the way, Dave Joust, who is now with the Nationals, who threw to him last year in Colorado when he set the single-round record of 35, which he didn't need extra swings in a swing-off to do, is pitching to him this year. In a ballpark where he has 11 dingers in 17 games.
I got to go Pete.
The only thing that Jim, did you watch last year's Derby?
No, I'm a cord cutter. It's a lot of the times I don't.
Go on YouTube. I'll send it to you. He hit 35.
I mean, I did see that. I mean, the last time I think I watched it all the way through, like either ESPN or MLB put up Bryce winning at home a couple of years ago.
2019. Or
yeah.
No, 2018.
18.
With Dave Joust, I mean, he pitched to Garcia Parra in Boston in 99. He pitched to Pete last year. I mean, here's what happened in Pete's round. So Pete goes off at the beginning, and he's hitting balls, and you know what Colorado looks like, right? He's bouncing them off a Todd Helton steakhouse in left field. And he wasn't even swinging hard. He calls his first time out. The music is going. He's dancing. Taijuan Walker comes up and goes, "Bro, I need 35." And Pete goes, "Okay." Okay. Here's the scarier part. Salvador Perez hit 27 in the first round last year and lost by 8.
It's ridiculous.
The problem I have with this is that, yeah, I get that he's and this is not me crapping on your boy, Mike. This is me being legit here. That, yeah, Alonso, 2-time defending. You want to actually make sure that he advances, see if he goes for the 3-peat. But Acuna's only got 8, yet his teammate Austin Riley's got got 25 and isn't in this? I mean, that's more than Pete right now.
I know it's more than Pete, and Pete actually hit one last night. I think to make it 25 or 26. So I agree with you. I think first of all, Austin Riley got snubbed not being on the All-Star team.
Right.
But I think it comes down to if you're not an All-Star, they ask you to do it. And of course, Pete wasn't an All-Star last year, but got asked to do it as the defending champion. I think the first time they actually did that was 2007. Ryan Howard won it in 06, beating David Wright in Pittsburgh. Was not an All-Star in 07 and asked him to do it as the defending champion in Detroit. That's the one that Vladdy Sr. won. Yeah, God, 15 years ago. Hey, we got somebody watching us on YouTube. Check that out. I wonder who that is. Well, who knows? So, anyways, I do want to talk about some of the first half of baseball, and then I want to get into the hilarity that is the NFL for just a few minutes. So, I want to start in Chicago. I did see you said Liam Hendricks' money on Twitter the other day. I didn't realize he was from Ireland.
Hendricks?
Yeah.
He's from is he not from Australia?
He's from Ireland.
From Ireland.
I think because he's the one that said I had to take a driving test to come over here, but I don't have to take a test to have a gun. And that's stupid. I was floored. Outside of Tony La Russa, who I know you just cannot stomach, what good things have you seen from this team? Because, by the way, the AL Central is not out of the realm of possibility if you get hot.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, the team is capable of doing that, but they're just incapable of being consistent. You got one game they put up 12 runs or 10 runs, and they'll go 3 games and put up 3 runs. So the fact that they struggle putting up runs, their pitching is not bad. I mean, their back end or their bullpen is, if it operates correctly, is lights out. It's just a matter of bonehead decisions in the field and then ground ball city every time they come up to the plate because their hitting coach is inept as well too.
Who is their hitting coach?
Frank Menachino.
I'm sorry, what?
Frank Menachino.
He hit $160.
Bingo. You know that Oakland A that just tore the cover off the ball in the Coliseum? That guy.
We have an Oakland A as our batting instructor too.
Yeah.
Eric Chavez.
Much more proven hitter, I would say.
Than Frank Menachino? Oh my God.
Yes.
You know, is Joe McEwing still with the team?
He is. He's the third base coach.
I figured as much. That was La Russa's favorite player of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know here's going back some years, McEwing was with the Cardinals when Tony was there.
Mm-hmm.
You ready for this? They traded him to the Mets for Jesse Orosco.
I remember that.
First of all, Orosco was like 80 at the time. But he's left-handed. Dude, Jesse, put it this way. You can do the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon in 3 for Joe McEwing and Jerry Koosman.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry Koosman was traded by the Mets to the Minnesota Twins. They got Jesse Orosco. Jesse Orosco was traded by the Mets to the Cardinals. They got Joe McEwing.
Mm-hmm. It's a love fest of former players. There's Mikhail Kairos, a bench coach.
Okay. Look, it's not a bad thing to have guys who were in the league 10, 15 years ago on your staff, especially when you're 106. But is he the problem, or is it the inconsistency of the player that's the problem?
He's part of the problem. It's not entirely on him because he's the manager in charge, but ultimately it's the player's performance out there that I don't know if they've lost faith in themselves, if they've given up on the front office, if they're giving up on Tony. I really don't exactly know what the issue is, but they're significantly underperforming, and the fact that in the division that's supposedly weak, they cannot beat the Minnesota Twins and struggled mightily to beat even the Tigers, and then they don't fare well whenever they play the Guardians. So when you can't beat the teams that are above you or leading in front of you in the division, you got a problem.
Listen, they got a lot of ball left to catch them. But I will say this. There have been some games that the White Sox have blown
Yes.
that have been season killers, i.e. the Josh Naylor game.
Yes.
That was – do you know that's one of the moments you have to replay on the show to earn stubs?
I believe it. I believe it. I went to bed, and they were up 9-1, 9-2. I'm just like, all right, this will probably in like 9-4, 9-5. I wake up, and I look at my phone. I seen that they lost, and I just said, what? And that was the tipping point, and that's probably when I started had to take medicine for my blood pressure.
Hey, as far as blood pressure medication goes, root for the team in the NFL that him and I do. And then talk to me about blood pressure.
I know we're gonna get there. We're
Blood
gonna get
pressure. Nobody needs a refill.
So I got one more question about your boys, and then I want to talk a little bit about the rest of the division. And I want to actually, you know what? We'll skip this one about your boys because it's really not about your boys. It's more about the rest of the division. Did anyone see Minnesota being this good? Because I know when Correa signed there, we all kind of went, I'm sorry, what?
No. And that's the thing. They're really not even that good. They've just been hot. They've been quite consistent.
Thank you. I wanted to bring this up in a minute.
That's really what it's been. I mean, the one thing that I will say, and I will give them kudos for, even though it pains me, Byron Buxton has been playing out of his mind with the glove and at the plate. He's been outrageous.
We talked about it. The Twins get their guy. They pay him a ton of money, and then they kind of build around him, and they turn Buxton into this generation's Joe Mauer.
He's good.
The guy they paid a lot of money to build around, Jim. I saw that look on your face.
No, it's because that sound that you just heard was a notification, and that was the text that you had sent me saying, you coming, dude, from an hour ago.
Who's your cell phone carrier?
There's like something weird with my network where I'm actually getting notification. Like everything's coming through fine, but I'm not getting the audio notification till like 30 minutes later for some reason.
I keep mine on vibrate at all times.
It's doing it like twice. It's doing it at the time of, and then it's doing it like 30 minutes later if you don't answer it.
Yeah. I keep mine on vibrate because normally I have the Garmin smartwatch on that tells me when I get a text message. So, James, let's shift a little bit east of the great city of Chicago and go to my other home, the city of Cleveland, where the Guardians are playing like lunatics because, you know, they're the guys that their manager has to put a helmet on and someone headbutts him like he's a football player without a helmet on. It's a special kind of guy who plays in Cleveland. It really is. And I will say this. You're welcome for Andres Jimenez.
Oh, he's been real good, too.
Yeah.
I'll tell you something. I've taken a lot of beating for that, but I want to remind you guys of something. Francisco's on pace for 30 bombs and 120 RBIs. I'll take it. Because Pete's on pace for 40 and $120.
Yeah, but this is what I was going to bring up where I thanked Alex. Look at the division races as we stand at this very second. We all know that the Yankees are running away. That's basically about wrapped up as close as you can get it. The Dodgers are big.
I wouldn't call the AL East yet.
Here's the thing, though. Where the hell has Baltimore come from to where all 5 teams in that division are over 500?
Hey, bro, I love this.
Kudos to Baltimore. I love that.
And do you know when it started? It started when they called up Adley Rutschman.
And the part where, Alex, you said that Minnesota may not be that good. Assuming they actually, this actually could very well change here in the course of, by the time we sign off. The Minnesota Twins are the only team in the American League Central that are over 500. Everyone else is 500 or below.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I didn't realize the Guards were only 44 and 44.
Yeah, about to be full. I mean, they're up 6-5 in the 8th right now against the Tigers, but now they're playing down to everyone's expectations. Is you got swept by the Tigers. You lose 2 out of 3 to Kansas City, and you better hope to God that you can actually salvage something out of this weekend series with the Tigers.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're playing down. Listen, Tristan McKenzie looked great the other night. But
the thing is now, what we all thought was going to be their strength being the starting pitching. Bieber has not rebounded. Tristan McKenzie has stepped up. Savali hurt most of the year. Plesac went on the IL. It's so they are all over the place right now.
Yeah, but I tell you what, I think they're going to be in this thing till the end. I really do. I don't think the Twins are going to run away and hide. I think both teams in the AL Central, being the White Sox and the Guardians, have a real shot at going after them. You figure between the Guardians, the White Sox, and the Twins, it's only, 4.5 games?
5 games.
5 games?
Guardians, White Sox, yeah. Twins are 3.5 up. Well, with the Guardians win, they'd go to 3, and White Sox are at 4.
Okay.
Yeah, this is going to be – I think the NL East and the AL Central are going to be 2 very compelling division races. The AL West is all but over.
Alex, you'll be happy to know that that it's in the middle of the 5th, and the Sox are up 3-2, so they could pick up a game if they hold it.
So the NL East is going to be a dogfight between those 2 teams.
Don't count the Phillies out right now.
Corey Knebel is still their closer. Like I said, it's going to be a dogfight between those 2 teams.
I agree, but Philly might be the streakiest team in baseball. When they're good, they're very good. When they're bad, they go on really bad losing streaks.
Corey Knebel is their closer.
I really struggle with that because Philly, they always add offense, but they forget about pitching all the time. And when it comes down to it.
By the way, their biggest pitching acquisition in the last 5 years was Zach Wheeler, who would not have gone there had his wife not been from Jersey.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, it's time to talk about my boys for a minute. My second most wins in the National League boys for a minute. Again, they have done this without Jacob deGrom throwing a pitch. Max Scherzer spent 6 weeks on the IL. And a very interesting development happened last night in Syracuse. DeGrom threw his second rehab start. He will pitch again in a simulated game at Citi Field during the All-Star break. He will probably have one more start after that, and then he will make his season debut, most likely on July the 26th. Do you know who the Mets play on July the 26th?
The Yankees.
Do you know who would go the next night on July the 27th against the Yankees?
Sure.
Yup. How about Buck Showalter and Steve Cohen are giving a giant middle finger to the New York Yankees and going, "You're getting the studs." End of story.
Also, before you continue, I would like just to ask you a quick question, Mike. Who are you guys going to add? Because I know you guys are going to go out there and probably pick up like a Luis Castillo or somebody.
They're not going after a starting arm.
Okay.
They're going to get bullpen help. The biggest addition around the trade deadline will probably be, besides Jacob deGrom, will be the big development last night, and that's Francisco Alvarez caught Jacob deGrom last night and called his own game. The now highest-rated prospect in all of Major League Baseball is a catcher for the New York Mets. Dude, Scherzer loves this kid. deGrom loves this kid. And they're going to bat him ninth in that lineup. Jim, they're saying the Alvarez kid could have Piazza-esque power with a better arm from behind the dish. And like Piazza can call his own game.
Yeah, but remember they said the same thing about Francisco Mejia when he was coming up, and how did that turn out?
I think Mejia was rushed, though. If they call him up, first of all, James McCann's back on the IL with an oblique. Right now, the Mets are winning games in Atlanta and Chicago with Patrick Mazeika and Tomas Nido. No disrespect to Tomas Nido, who's throwing dudes out from his knees like he's Benito Santiago. But they don't have any pop behind the plate. Adding that bat, and I think the other bat they may want to go get is going to be Jock Peterson.
Yeah, that's a name I'm hearing very, very coveted right now.
And I've always loved him. Even when he was with the Dodgers playing the Mets in the playoffs. I've always loved Jock Peterson.
So does that mean you guys don't have no interest in Wilson Contreras?
No. This is me personally. Could the Mets go out and get him if they don't think Francisco Alvarez is ready? Absolutely. Dom Smith will be the new first baseman in Chicago, I can tell you that. If they make that move. Dom's going.
Yeah.
And it breaks my heart. I've said it to you, Alex, on our baseball shows. I'm sure I've said it to Jim. If not, here it is. I think one of the stupidest things the New York Mets ever did was when they knew David was not going to come back, was not move Pete Alonso to third base. And make Pete Alonso the third baseman. Because then your infield is Dom. If they would have done that and everything else plays out the way it did, your infield on the left side is Pete Alonso and Francisco Lindor. On the right side, most of the time, it's Jeff McNeil and Dom Smith. Now, all of a sudden, Luis Guillorme thinks he's Joe Morgan. Those two, Jim, you ready for this? Guillorme and Lindor are starting to remind me of Robbie and Omar.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because they're just so slick. They turned a double play the other night. Guillorme fed Lindor over the bag. It looked like a wide receiver going over the middle. He hit him in stride to throw the ball to first base to kill the double play. I was like, what am I watching?
And the big difference is that both of those guys can hit, something that Omar was, later in his career, he started hitting better for average. But remember, Omar was always touted with Seattle, and the first half of his tenure in Cleveland was touted for his defense, not his bat.
Agreed. But Omar always did the job. He was your quintessential two-hitter in that Lofton, Vizquel, Baerga, Bell, Manny, Eddie Murray, Paul Sorrento, Jim Thome lineup.
His responsible hitting behind Kenny all those years was to make sure that Kenny got to third, because Kenny would usually found a way to get to second most nights.
Yeah. Alex, what were you going to say when before Jim went in with that?
Just a question. How old is that Guillorme guy? Is he young?
You've seen him on the highlights. He's the one who caught the flying bat in spring training a couple of years ago with the bare hand.
I do remember. I know the name. I just didn't know if he was like on the younger side or if he's like.
He's 27.
Okay.
His old man's a good follow on Twitter, by the way.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's pretty good. I mean, he's hitting 302. No, hold on. Yeah, he's hitting 302. He's playing really good defense, and now Mark Canha is basically being platooned because you need McNeil in the lineup, who's got the third highest batting average in the National League. Starling Marte came back from the groin injury, and McNeil came off paternity last night, and they dropped an 8-bomb on the Cubs.
That's not that hard to do with the Cubs right now.
Shut up.
Think of this. Mariners 11 in a row, hottest team in baseball. Orioles right on their behind at 10 in a row. Two coldest teams in baseball, the Nationals and the Cubs. Didn't Cincinnati start out 3-22? And they are now in a mathematical tie with the Chicago Cubs for the worst in that division.
Alex is coming off the top rope tonight.
I just like to see him scuffle. I'm sorry.
Just don't get hurt like half of the roster is right now.
And don't let Tones hear you say that.
I don't even think he's watching Cubs baseball right now. He's probably prepping for Buccaneers football. So
I can't even do it. I can't. Although I got 50 days till the Buckeyes opener.
oh wow, 50 days already?
Yeah.
Where's the summer gone? Gosh.
I can't wait till Ryan Day hangs 60 on that team.
Michael, I had a dream that scared the living crap out of me the other night, and it
They
involved
won the national title?
no, it involved
Oh.
those guys. Is I gleefully went down and watched an Ohio State UCLA game willingly.
Yes. Now, let's switch gears real quick because all three of us are technically in Big Ten country. And then again, so is half the damn country.
Right.
It has been announced that as of early as 2024, USC and UCLA will join the Big Ten. Now, here, let's play a little geography game here, gentlemen. Big Ten. They have teams in Ohio, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Illinois, Iowa, New Jersey, California,
Just
Nebraska?
brunch games on the West Coast. You know,
How about every Big Ten team's going to play at the Rose Bowl now? Does
I
it
like
take the shine off the Rose Bowl, though?
Oh, without question.
Because, listen, Jim and I did a show on New Year's Day. I don't know if you saw that, Alex, where
I did.
I was pumped. And then C.J. Stroud and Jackson Smith and Jigba went out and just went absolutely polar.
Did you get the text I sent you about Jackson and Jigba's brother a couple of weeks ago?
I might have. What was about his brother?
Jackson and Jigba's brother is I think an everyday player now in his rookie season with the Pittsburgh
That's
Pirates.
right, with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
First major league hit was a double in the ninth inning on the brunch game, the Sunday wake up game against my Cardinals 3 weeks ago.
Here's the funny thing, Jim. You know this. Willie's son that we do from Shakeback that we've done the shows with, Alex, played against Jackson Smith and Jigba. He went to Rockwall in high school. Willie's son, who's now in the United States Navy, so one of those. But what we are going to get is Buckeye Nation traveling to the Coliseum. Lincoln Riley, who went to a weak conference, now he's going to have to play with the big boys.
2,746 miles for when Rutgers has to face either one of the Los Angeles teams.
The Los Angeles team's having to come east to play a noontime game in November.
It's going to be tough.
I want to see Northwestern put a whooping on USC like you wouldn't believe. Because Patty Fitz is going to have those boys want to smack those California boys in the mouth.
And I'll tell you this much, all the rumors that I'm hearing, we're not done with this. There might be 2 more coming.
Was it Oregon and Washington?
I'm hearing those were the 2 that I were hearing, but I'm also hearing that they may yank Washington and go Oregon, Stanford to be able to, because now at that point, you're not actually benefiting from the overall football quality, but they might be going more for the higher institutional grading with adding to the conference.
Well, I mean, with that school up north and those bunch of losers, they're going to have to. It would be nice to see Harbaugh have to play his former school.
As much as you crap on him, it's a good school.
I know it's a good school. I just like saying stuff. I got into an argument with Rich Eisen about that on Twitter years ago. But here's another one. You ready for this? How about – I didn't think of this game before. You could have a Big Ten title game in Indianapolis in December. Ohio State, USC. The old Woody Hayes Rose Bowls. You could have – I mean, is Chip Kelly still the coach at UCLA?
I don't know.
I'm looking it
And
up.
here's another question.
Yes.
Why is Notre Dame not in the Big Ten yet?
That's probably coming before 2. If it's not there, I honestly think I think Notre Dame goes ACC because they're in they're in the Big Ten for hockey, but they're in the ACC for just about everything else except football.
Yeah, the football. Well, and because they carry their own TV thing, and this is all about money. Let's not think this is about competition.
So the thing is that if he actually did go to the Big Ten with the revenue sharing amongst those, they're leaving. I think the story that I heard from Damon Amendolara was they're leaving $27 million on the table with the TV deal, unless something's going to happen with NBC and Peacock, where the streaming is going to absolutely explode.
Yeah, but as far as the Pac-12 goes with the money thing, they're falling into Fox's lap because Fox has the Big Ten Network. You know that the first year they're here, both LA teams will play Rutgers in Jersey, and they will be primetime games to take advantage of the New York market. That's why Ohio State, whenever they play Rutgers, is either a late afternoon or an evening game. When I went down there in 2017 to the Rutgers game, it was a night game. Piscataway's not that much fun.
Yeah, but it's we all knew something like this was going to happen, and kudos to the Big Ten for doing this, because now you have two of the five biggest rivalries in college football in your conference.
You also have the three biggest media markets in your conference.
And
you have New York, you have Chicago, you have LA.
And I think that's 7 out of 12 too.
Yeah, because you figure technically you get with State College, you get Pittsburgh,
Los Angeles,
you
Columbus/Cleveland, Indianapolis, Detroit, Milwaukee, New York, New Jersey, all that area, Pittsburgh,
which all that bleeds into other areas.
Right, and then if you end up getting Washington and Oregon, you add Portland and Seattle into that. You'd have 10 out of 10.
Basically, the Big Ten is taking the lead here. Now let's talk about what that means for the people down in the region of the country I want to get to. And Alex, I want to start with you. The SEC added Texas and Oklahoma. Does this trump that move? Let's talk about quality of play. Money is going to be money. Let's talk about quality of play. Did the Big Ten just trump what the SEC did by adding those two schools? Or do you think the SEC still has they're going to have the bias, first of all, so that's there. Do you think they're going to have more quality football in that league? Or is the Big Ten taking a big step toward evening the playing field?
I think the Big Ten is taking that big step to kind of evening the playing field and kind of bringing trying to shift some of that attention away from the SEC, which we know dominates college football regardless. That's kind of the way I look at it.
Jim, what about you? Do you think this puts the Big Ten a step ahead? And are we on our way out from having 5 power conferences?
I'm not trying to say this to be difficult, Alex. I completely disagree. I think it goes the other way. I think this oversaturates the Big Ten, but I think the move was everyone thinks the move was being made for football. But I brought this up when I did a live spot of breaking news the night that it happened, or at least when it was announced. Yeah, you're getting USC, UCLA in the Big Ten for football. That's great. Neither one of those programs have actually been marquee in at least 5 or 6, 7 years. But look at what it does for all of your other sports. It puts 2 of the biggest baseball schools in the Big Ten. It puts the winningest program in the history of college basketball in that conference. USC is coming up. It puts the winningest women's softball program in the in collegiate history in your conference. It does so much for all of the other sports. Yet football, we all know that's where it is. But I think it's a brilliant move for the Big Ten, but not for the football aspect. I think for everything else that USC and UCLA bring to the table, how awesome would it be? And you know what? I gotta go back. Is that my dad and I are already talking about going down to Value City Arena for when when UCLA comes in, with him being the biggest UCLA basketball fan you'll ever meet.
That'd be fun to go watch. So it's been about an hour. I'm going to turn into a pumpkin. But I did want to hit on something. And I want to talk about the upcoming WWE pay-per-view. Yes, Alex, I want to talk wrestling because I did not know this. McAfee's got another match. Is it this weekend or next weekend?
Next weekend, I think it is. And
McAfee's got another match. Who's he wrestling again, Jim?
Happy Corbin.
Did you know Happy Corbin was an Indianapolis Colt in 2009?
Yes, I did.
I didn't. They shared the thing, the picture, and I sent it to Jim. I was like, what? Now, mind you, McAfee had the best WrestleMania moment out of anybody.
This past year, yeah. But
that was maybe the funniest thing I've ever seen. And not Vince McMahon beating him. It was when he was drinking the beer laying on his back after Stone Cold stunned him. Did I share with you?
Thankfully, you guys are not there while I'm finishing up this beer so I don't get stunned.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't do that to you anyway. I've seen Frat Party, 1997, Dayton, Ohio, Wright State University. One redneck did it to another one. And then someone got hit with a keg. That's all I'm going to say.
EC Dub.
I left. I was scared.
Alex, do you remember the ECW heyday?
Oh, yeah.
I keep forgetting how old you are, man.
Yeah.
Stop.
Oh, come on.
I was watching One Night Stand yesterday.
Were you really?
Yeah.
I was flipping through YouTube because I'll play, as much as I like John Shambi and Chris Singleton, they're the voice of the show, and I can't. I turn off the TV sound and I put the earbuds in and I flip through YouTube. The one where it's Rhino and two dudes are in the ring and it goes black. And the lights come up and Sandman's standing there with the kendo stick and the beer and the no shirt on. Yeah. That's still one of my favorite ones.
This is going to show up, but yeah, some of that scar tissue is. I went as Sandman 2 years in a row for Halloween.
And you beat the cans against your head, didn't you?
It was against my head. Yep.
Did you?
I don't do it now, but if I start bleeding, we're going to get flagged.
Yeah, we don't want that because it's on my page, not yours. So the last thing I wanted to bring up after that, but I was floored by McAfee, is actually something that happened on his show. Did you guys hear the young kid who called in?
Yes. You sent me that clip.
Alex.
I don't think I heard this.
This kid calls in from Connecticut. He said his name is Owen. He's 8.5 years old, and it's a kid, you can tell. And he tells McAfee how much he thinks it's great that he's inspiring people by the way he does his show and the way he talks about his life. And they're all giving Owen kudos. And all of a sudden, Owen goes, oh, yeah, and F Boston Connor. He just drops it on him. They went crazy.
It might be the first time that McAfee's ever shut up on his show because he was so awestruck.
This little kid is hold on.
You can't play this.
I'm not. I'm going to send it to Alex.
Oh, okay.
Please do. Because yes, there are not many times where Pat McAfee's left without words.
Oh, Alex, did you see the clip floating around Twitter of him and Michael Cole absolutely losing their shrimp after Liv cashed in 3 weeks ago?
Oh, yeah.
The better one is when Cena came out.
I refuse to watch it. I'm so over him.
Well, no, I'm talking about when he came out after Roman months ago. Because Cole didn't know he was going to be there, and neither did McAfee, and that was like legit. They had no idea. The music hit, and they went crazy. But yeah, when Liv came out, that was great. The The one with Cena was pretty good too. So yeah, we got All-Star game this weekend, Tuesday night. Monday night, the Home Run Derby. You got the celebrity softball. The other great thing I love about MLB All-Star is the parade, where the All-Stars are in the cars and they do the parade. My old man went to the parade 3 years ago, and he had his Mets stuff on, had a Puerto Rican flag for all the Puerto Rican players. He actually had a 7-line jersey on. What are you smiling at?
What?
What are you smiling at?
Nothing.
You were a liar.
No, seriously. It's a good memory and it's a good story. I'm smiling at that.
You did too.
I swear to God.
Okay.
I'm an atheist, so if I'm saying that, it's true.
That's true. So, Alex, what's up with row 7, buddy?
Well, we're still recording. We're still putting out some content, but life has kind of been a little crazy as of late. Trying to get back to 100%, which I now am, and now my wife and I now buying a house and stuff like that, and going through that process. So, row 7 has not taken a back seat, but we're just trying to shift a little bit. But I'll definitely come out with some new content. Probably do like a baseball show, like midway point to the season, and talk a little bit of NBA free agency and see what's kind of going on, and kind of prepare myself for football season as it ever so closely approaches. So there's definitely some stuff on the docket.
Yeah, like I said before, 50 days, Ohio State, Notre Dame, live from Horseshoe. It's the night game too.
Oh,
they're talking blackout.
They're really going to wear those god-awful black uniforms again?
I prefer the all red.
Those I could actually stomach. You know what? Before we sign off, we're not going to talk about him, but we're going to talk about the team that he plays for and their most toxic place on earth, which is their Twitter. The backlash on those helmets.
First of all, did you hear what Paul DePodesta said?
Yes.
That may be the line of the offseason. Alex, Paul DePodesta said they didn't need any more controversy, and someone said, why? And he said, have you seen our offseason? Here's another thing. And, Jim, I forgot about this. Speaking of that team and their former quarterback, I didn't know Hollywood was in Carolina.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You're handing him Hollywood. You're handing him Christian McCaffrey, Robbie Anderson, and Hollywood?
Even though he's going to be like a third or fourth, maybe like a slot option, but still.
I'm going on record as saying this now. You two are my witnesses. God, I hope Baker hangs 40 on that team on opening week.
Oh.
And I hope he does. And I hope he does to them what he did to Kansas when he was at Oklahoma.
Revenge game, I guess you can say.
Carolina.
I don't care if Carolina goes 1-16. Hang 40 on the Browns in week 1.
When they score touchdowns, they run flags out, don't they? I'm going.
If the game was in Cleveland, it would be better. And it would start a fight. But if they win, he needs to plant the flag at the 50.
Even if he doesn't start.
He'll start.
Oh, I know for a fact that he will. But it's, how apropos would that be that, like, something happens, Darnold plays or Matt Corral plays, and Baker comes out and takes the final knee? How great would that be?
If it was in Cleveland, it would be better.
I think he's getting it.
I'm really upset. I spent money on the Browns T-shirt version of the Big Rican logo, and I may never wear it. Like, we had a discussion in my house the other night. I said, the only person you got to worry about football with is your mother, my mother-in-law. And my wife goes, oh, we don't have to watch Ohio State. I said, Ohio State's not football. It's religion. To which Zachary and my wife both rolled their eyes.
Like I just did.
Yeah, well, you're just a hater. So, James, the JC Sports Note. What do you got coming up? I know you just did the whole thing with the USC UCLA, and I see your NHL free agency is heating up. Who's that dude that Columbus signed?
Johnny Gaudreau, Johnny Hockey. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen that, definitely go watch that. You watch me lose my shrimp on that. It's 30 minutes of me just ranting on 7 or 8 different teams. Alex, I even yeah, your Blackhawks are probably
They're cooked.
I don't know if you've seen all the other stuff. First of all, with the DeBrincat trade, yeah, we're going to shift over to hockey for about 30 seconds here. That one puzzles me, but now I brought this up on the podcast, and TSN and Sportsnet and ESPN all reported it. What's that look for?
Finish up, and I got one for you.
Do Kane and Taves waive their no trades and get out, and considering they're going to be ripping this thing down to not just the studs but the screws?
By all accounts, from what I've heard and what I've read, that was initially the plan. And I think what's likely to happen is that Taves might seek that trade. Kane right now at the moment looks to be staying put, but if he were to waive that no trade clause, I think he's going home. I think he's going to, or not home. I think he's going to go to the Rangers.
I think he goes, but I think he wants to come to Buffalo. But I think the problem is with my Sabres, you've got Skinner making Jeff Skinner making 10, Rasmus Dahlin's making 8. Kane's going to command at least 8 or 9. Is Kevin Adams really going to pay 3 guys north of 8 with that roster as much as they're up and coming anymore? I don't see that. But it's this is not me just being a Blues fan and a Blackhawks absolute hater because I hate the Hawks more than any team in sports. Yes, Mike, even more than the Ohio State Buckeyes. I think right now this is karma for the way that Rocky Wirtz in the front office botched that fiasco, and we're not even going to cover that. We might cover it. I might have you on when we go live on my channel here in a few weeks, and we'll talk about that, or definitely before as we're getting closer. But just whatever's actually coming in the pipe, it's with free agency in the NHL, we still have a lot going on with the NBA. I'll probably touch on some college stuff, and then as you guys have also seen with some of my videos, I'm also trying to work on some of the like the thumbnails, and I'm working on kind of like a mock-up of a Wise Guys logo. So it's a little bit more production than performance and content right now. And also just enjoying the last couple of hours of my vacation here. So it's but we all know it's anything that I put out. It's just it's whatever falls into my lap.
So the look on my face before I get into what's coming with Big Reek, and my sister sent me something. MLB nerds, the Cardinals and Braves have both internally discussed the idea of trading for Anaheim Angels starting pitcher Noah Syndergaard. That's the look I gave.
Really?
Yeah. My sister sent me that on Facebook Messenger, and she said, "What's this?" I said, "Desperation." Guys, the Mets went into Atlanta and won 2 out of 3 without Jeff McNeil, without Starling Marte, and without Jacob deGrom. The Braves are worried. The Cardinals know they're in a dogfight with Milwaukee.
And this is really the Cardinals' last push, honestly.
Yeah, because, I mean, as much as I like him, you can't build a rotation around Miles Michaelis. He gets hurt too much.
Right, yeah, because it's, namely with Michaelis, and it's and Carlos Martinez isn't what he was. But I'll tell you this much: is there really right now? He's got to be a top 5 story. Is the resurgence of Waino?
No, he is, absolutely is. And I think he's going to leave with something in the tank, which is what he should do. But the other thing, too, is Jack Flaherty has not been what they thought he was going to be.
No.
He also can't stay healthy either.
Right.
I mean, not that I can talk because DeGrom hasn't thrown a pitch since last July 7th. So, there's that. But as far as Big Rican goes, it's been a crazy summer. I got through Zachary's graduation. His graduation party was the weekend of the 2nd. I did put out a Mets episode. I'm going to do another one. I am going to get a Big Rican baseball show together, Alex, so we'll be doing that soon. We're going to break down probably closer to the trade deadline. We'll break down the trade deadline and the big moves. There are going to be some names on the move. We're not going to – it's someone's going to be shocking. I honestly think they're going to be dudes who you're just looking at going, what?
Yeah.
And then should we extend the invitation to the extravaganza now, James, or should we give it some time?
Let's do it. What the hell?
So I don't know if you knew this, Alex, but come this September, the Wise Guys will be a year old.
Oh.
And we go party.
We gonna party on my channel. You
On
thought
his channel.
you thought the free for all in June was something? Wait for the 1-year anniversary.
When we're drunk.
Oh gosh. Okay. When is this in September though? Because this is kind of crucial though.
We'll work around it.
Maybe the
We
week.
haven't decided yet. The week after Labor Day?
Yeah, because Labor Day we're all going to be partying and I mean probably doing our own thing. Alex, you and
got
I
a kid going to college.
on all out.
Let me just look at a calendar because I got a crazy September, so I gotta find some time here.
We'll figure something out.
We'll
Okay.
figure something out. You just sounded Canadian when you said that.
No. We're good. We're good.
As we get closer to hockey season, you're going to see my Canadian accent come back. You hang around those guys enough, it rubs off on you.
Yeah, if we do it sometime that week after Labor Day, we should be okay. It'd be okay.
The Wise Guys turn a year.
Time flies.
We'll have graphics. I think, Mike, I've got an idea for your Christmas present already.
Well, dude, I ain't doing Christmas this year. I got an infant and a kid in college.
I know, but my credit card's paid off, so I can't.
On that, thank you for joining the Wise Guys July Part 1 episode. Alex, as always, it's been a lot of fun. Check everybody out. Alex on Row 7 is all over where you can find podcasts. Jim, the JC Blue Note YouTube channel, which is where we do our uncensored stuff. Obviously, me with at Big Rican on Sport on Twitter, Big Rican on Sports here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Hey, Alex, you said your show's on Amazon, right?
Yes.
It's on Audible because of that too. I didn't know if you knew that.
Now I do know.
There you go. Have a great rest of your weekend, everybody. Gentlemen, thank you so much.